every year at Christmas, here is what's readily apparent. If you ever want to accuse a black or brown person of anything, any abominable, horrible thing, out of all the things you may need to accuse a black or brown person of something, the one thing you do not need ever is proof. You never need proof to accuse a black or brown person of something. You didn't need it when you were saying that Mexicans were rapists and murderers and they were coming over here and they're going to do damage. You didn't need it when you said the Central Park Five were guilty. You didn't need it when you said that President Obama was not born here. You didn't need it when Emmett Till was massacred. You haven't needed it on dozens and dozens of people who've been fraudulently jailed and in some cases executed, because just saying that a black or brown person is guilty of something in the history of America has always been enough. I remember Susan Smith, who drove her kids into the water, into the water. The first thing she did was claim it was a black dude, and they had 5 or 6 black dudes rounded up. And eventually, had they not found out it was her, they would have came up with somebody. That is the way it works. The one thing you do not need to accuse a black or brown person of any heinous thing is proof or evidence. You don't need it and haven't needed it at all. Case in point, right now, 73% of Republicans believe that Donald Trump's election, that Joe Biden's win was fraudulent. They believe that somebody cheated. They believe that there was malfeasance. They believe that black and brown people all over this country conspired to defeat the most powerful man on the face of the earth. And that will require a couple of things. That will require people who had fewer precincts than anybody else in the country, who had faulty voting equipment and antiquated voting equipment and extremely long lines, all while being harassed by people who are armed. They had to do all that. So they had to have horrible voting equipment. They had to have fewer precincts, longer lines to commit voter fraud. And they did that, and they managed somehow to turn over two Republican governors, one in Arizona and then one in Georgia. So suffice it to say that they believe that those people, to the extent that Donald Trump spent $3 million on a specific precinct in Wisconsin, where guess who? Black and brown people live. And guess what they found? More niggas who voted against him. That's what it is. So when you spend $3 million and find more people who voted against you, so it says a lot to say that rather than believe the fact that black and brown people risk life and limb to do anything to make sure that this man didn't get a second turn, they have to believe that there was malfeasance involved. They had to believe that something happened that we don't know about. Some nefarious thing happened, that millions of people, that black people waited in line for 12 hours and then got back in line to do it again. It says a lot that in America, to assault somebody's character, to take someone's freedom, to fine them, to jail them, to malign them, all you have to do is make an accusation. And that accusation doesn't have to be valid or prove or have even a modicum or a scintilla of evidence. Because the belief is that black and brown people, no matter what you say about them, is true. And the proof is in the way they act. That's a little note from the GED section. We got a jazz report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.